So, you're an advanced English learner, but you feel stuck. You feel like you know all the words, but you're still missing the real conversation. Well, you've hit what's called the listening plateau. And today, we're going to smash right through it. Let's get to it. Does this sound familiar to you? You've got the vocabulary down, your grammar is solid, but when you're in a real conversation with native speakers, it feels like something is just flying right over your head. You're not alone, I promise. This is a super specific and really common stage of learning. And this is the absolute heart of the problem. It's a subtle difference, but it's a massive one. You can literally define every single word someone says, but the actual message, the emotion, the real intent behind it, it just seems to disappear. That little gap you're feeling? That's the Grand Canyon between simple comprehension and true understanding. I mean, just look at this. A phrase like, "That's an interesting idea," literally means one thing on paper. But what a native listener hears, it can be the complete opposite. I'll think about it. Almost never means they're actually going to think about it. This hidden layer of meaning, it's everything. Mastering this is the key to finally getting off that plateau for good. Okay, so how do we actually do it? Well, our first section is all about a fundamental shift in how you think about listening. It's time to stop just hearing words and to start really understanding the message. So here's the first big mindset shift you need to make. Stop obsessing over vocabulary. Seriously. At this level, listening is all about the musicality of the language. The most important stuff is usually hidden in how they say it, not just what they say. And there's a technical term for this music. It's called prosody. The easiest way to think of it is like this. The words are the lyrics to a song, but prosody is the melody. And if you just read the lyrics without the melody, you lose the entire feeling, right? That melody is where all the real emotion and true intent are hiding. And this is exactly what happens when you start tuning your ear to that music. Just think about the word thanks. I can say it flat like, "Oh, thanks," with a falling tone, and you know immediately that's sarcasm. Or I can say, "Hey, thanks," with a bright, rising tone, and you hear genuine sincerity. The word is identical. The music is what tells you the real story. All right, so let's move on because another huge hurdle is just the raw speed of it all. In this next part, we're going to talk about how you can start to tame the pace of native English so you can stop feeling like you're always playing catch up. Oh man, we have all been there. The conversation just takes off like a rocket, and you're constantly trying to process the last sentence while the speaker is already 2 sentences ahead. It is exhausting, but don't worry, there's a really practical way you can train for this. Think of this 3-step exercise as your new gym workout for your ears. But that final step, number 3, shadowing, that is the real game changer. When you physically try to speak along with a native speaker, you're forcing your brain to stop translating word for word and start anticipating the flow. You're training your mouth and your mind to match that native rhythm and speed. It's powerful stuff. Okay, so this brings us to our third and maybe most advanced section. We've talked about the music and the speed, but now we have to talk about the invisible layer that affects everything: cultural subtext. The truth is, language never exists in a vacuum. It is wrapped up in a culture's shared history, its humor, its unspoken rules. So real mastery isn't just about hearing what's said, it's about understanding what's left unsaid, but is just culturally understood by everyone else in the room. Now check this out. Take a simple word like quite. In the US, if someone says a movie was quite good, that means it was very good, high praise. But in the UK, that same exact phrase often just means it was okay, acceptable, so-so. Can you imagine the miscommunication? Understanding this kind of cultural context is absolutely critical. So let's wrap this all up. Let's put all these pieces together into a really clear, actionable plan. This is your path forward, from that frustrating plateau right up to the peak. So here it is, your new focus. Forget about chasing more vocabulary for a while. Instead, start listening for the music, the prosody. Practice the physical rhythm of the language through shadowing, and get really curious about the culture behind the words you're hearing. This is the kind of work that leads to a genuine breakthrough. And I really want to leave you with this thought. Don't get discouraged thinking you have to reach some perfect final destination called fluency. That's not how it works. Mastery is about the process. It's about showing up every day and practicing these fundamentals. Every single time you tune your ear just a little bit more, that's a huge victory. So, my question for you is this: what conversation will you master first? Think about a movie you love, a podcast, maybe even a meeting with a colleague that you can go into with these new tools. The path is clear. Now it's your turn to walk it. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.